Very good morning to all of you. I'm Neetu Gahlot from St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management, Gurgaon. I'm from Applied Science Department, and today I'm taking my next lecture from biology. The topic which are covered in this lecture are the single cell concept and economic importance of the microbes. This is my eighth lecture of this unit. Yes, come to the topic. That is the concept of the single cell organism. First of all, we should know the meaning of the single cell. Single cell, or before single cell, I come to the cell word. Cell, as we know, the cell is the smallest unit of the living thing. So, in the division of the cells, it may be the prokaryotic cell and the eukaryotic cell. These topics will be would be discussed in our previous lecture. So now, first of all, we should remember that the prokaryotic cell and the eukaryotic cell, as we know that in the prokaryotic cell means that is a um, uh, initial cell, or we can say that it is made before the formation of the nucleus. It is called the prokaryotic cell, or it means it is a unicellular. It is a unicellular cell means either all the organisms are present in a cell, and um, they can all the functions are completed in a single cell or single cell. So it is the unicellular. And in the multicellular cell, it means that there are the different organelles are present for the different functions. So this is called the multicellular cell. So first of all, we come to know that the meaning of the cell. Single cell. It means in the single cell organisms, the all the life process are the carried out in the just one cell. Here only one cell is required for complete of the life process is called the single cell. And the other part just like in the for the eat food and other functions. So for the eat food from the outside, but the single cell organism get food in the different ways. Okay, uh, as we know that the other organisms uh, take uh, food from the outside, but in the single cell the organism get food in the different ways. It may be form of the sac, it may be from the vacuoles or the around the food. So, or the unicellular organism, also known as a single celled organism, in an organism that consists of only one cell. So here again we repeat, the unicellular means the one cell, or we can say that the all the functions are completed in a single cell. So it is called the unicellular. It means that all the life processes are carried out in just one cell only. So it is a single celled. So now the unicellular can be classified into the three main types, just as a protist, protist bacteria and the viruses. In the air, we should know that the protozoa family. So it is also the unicellular organism family. So now in the single cell membrane organism, some material move directly through the organism's cell membrane. Hence, the way essential part of life is water is passed through the all membrane. The water is also passed through the cell into the cell by the cell membrane. So they can remove the excess of the water by the vacuoles. So here, how the single cell organisms can move. When we use the word single cell organism, so the one more name are coming to in the mind in our mind, just like the amoeba, paramecium, euglena. So these are the unicellular organisms. In this type of the organism, the all the life process are completed in a cell. So these are also called the unicellular. So, so now the question arises how the single cell organism can move. Firstly, we talked about the we're talking the for the food, and now come to the movement of the single cell organism. So in the single cell organism, some single celled organism are able to move by the cilia like the flagella, etc. So they can help in the movement of the organisms and from one place to the another place. So the cilia, flagella, and one more thing is called the pseudopodia, which are found only in the amoeba. So for the reproduction, so there are the two methods, just like as the first is the binary fission, by which a unicellular organism can reproduce, and the budding method is also. Budding method means there are the division on the cell, so number of the cells, or we can say that is the number of the life is here. So the most important organisms are the, which are the example of the unicellular cell, are the amoeba, paramecium, and the euglena, are found in the single cell organism category. Suppose we talk about the euglena. So in the euglena is a microscopic organism in the Protista kingdom. Protista means that is the protozoa family. So they lives in fresh water, and the euglena has a spindle-shaped body. Okay, and the range in size from 0.25 to 0.254 millimeter long. So it is the very, very, very small size. So Euglena moves by the flagella. So Euglena has a thread-like structure which is called the flagellum, and with the help of flagellum, the Euglena can move and it in the fresh water. So the Euglena first create two of everything, then splits evenly into two halves. That is the binary fission. It, जिसमें बीच में से division होगा and then it converts into the two parts. So that is the binary fission. Next, I come to the amoeba. Amoeba, it is the very simplest organism of the protozoa family. Firstly, in the protozoa family, we study firstly the amoeba, and amoeba is just like a jelly-like structure. Has jelly-like structure, and we can't see amoeba with our eyes, or we can say with our naked eyes, but we can see it by the ultra microscope with the help of microscope. So amoeba is a unicellular organism, and it possesses a very flexible cell. Yeah, it means as I know, as I told that amoeba has a jelly-like structure, so it possesses a very flexible cell membrane and moving cytoplasm here. So amoeba moves by the poring cytoplasm into extension of the cell membrane. This is called the pseudopodia. Pseudopodia means that is a false leg. We can say it is a false leg also. That is a pseudopodia. So these are produced when the amoeba changes its body shape and help in the move around. So it is a very simple or very easy concept of the single cell organism. In the single cell organism, firstly we should know the unicellular and the multicellular cell, or here the unicellular cell means the all the body function parts is completed into a single cell, but single cell organelles. But in the you, eukaryotic cell is the multicellular, found in the multicellular cell also named. So here the or every functions is completed in the each cell, each organelle. So it is the eukaryotic cell. So now the discussing about the unicellular cell. So here uh, categorize protozoa, virus, bacteria. These are the classification of the singular cellular cell. And the most important examples of the unicellular cells are the amoeba, paramecium, euglena. So these are the example of the unicellular cell. Or we can say that it is a unicellular organism is an organism that consists of a single cell. This means the all life process such as the reproduction, feeding, digestion, and excretion occur in a one cell. In short, we can say that in the unicellular organism, the all the life process such like the reproduction, like the digestion, excretion, feeding occurs in the one cell only. So amoeba, bacteria, and the plankton also are just some type of the unicellular organism. They are typically microscopic and can't be seen with the naked eye. So it is the concept of the single cell organism. So now come to the next topic of our lecture. This is the uh, microorganisms and the economic importance of microorganism. The both topic are the related to each other, and we can say that are the same topic. So the microorganisms means which are also sorry which are too small to be seen with naked eye but visible under the microscope, also called the microbes. So these are the very, very, very small. As we know that microbes are present everywhere. They are present in the soil, in the water, and inside our body, and that the other animals of the plant are here. So the classification of the microorganisms, we can divide the microorganisms into these parts: the bacteria, protozoa, fungi, viruses, and the helminthes. Helminthes are also found in our body and intestine also. You know? Then come to the uses of the microorganisms in the environment. And here, the one more thing is the microbes are like the bacteria and the many fungi can be grown on the nutritive media to form the colonies. So, for the formation of the colonies depending upon the nutritive media, so that can be seen with the help with the naked eyes. So we can see with the naked eyes, and this type of culture are useful in the study of the microorganisms. So now come to the use of the microorganisms in the environment. First is the fixation of atmospheric nitrogen. Second is the decomposition of organic waste and the residues. Suppression of soil-borne pathogens. Recycling and increased availability of the plant nutrients, and the production of antibiotics and other bioactive compounds, the degradation of the toxicants, including pesticides, production of simple organic molecules for plant uptake, and the production of the polysaccharides to improve of soil segregation. So these are the importance of the microorganisms in the environment. And uh, do you know the microorganisms is also called the cleaners of our environment? Okay, so why we use terms cleaners for the microorganisms? So as we know that the microorganisms they are depend on their they are depend on the dead and the decay materials for their food. They depend for their food only the dead and decay materials. So they are also known as the cleaners of our environment, and they helps in the mineralization process of also. So now microorganisms have the several vital roles in the ecosystem. That is a decomposition, oxygen production, evolution, and the symbiotic relationship. Decomposition is whether dead animals or the plant matter is broken down into the more basic molecules, and this process is also happens because of the microorganism that find their way into the dead matter. So we can say that the microorganisms are also called the cleaners or the decomposers. We use the next word is the decomposers also, and cleaners of the environment also. And they are as we discussed above, the microbes are the extremely small living thing that we can see only with the help of the spatial piece of the equipment, that is it means the microscope, and that can causes of the many causes the disease also. So now the beneficial microorganism. Here we discuss some beneficial microorganisms. These are the antibiotics in the soil fertility and bacteria and fungi and the food production also. So these are the benefits of the microorganisms in the life. Now microorganisms, yeah, microbes are used in the household the product. So here we want to discussing the importance of the microbes in the household production, household products. So, firstly, the production of the curd. It is a very important, and then the fermentation by the microbes. So, the formation of the dough, toddy, and the cheese. So, in this, in the formation of the curd, it is the production of the fermentation of milk, as we know, because it is our daily life routine. So that the it is a production of the fermentation of the milk by the we know that the lactobacillus bacteria is used in the in this process, and some other these bacteria is commonly called the this is the lactobacillus bacteria. So a small amount of the curd when added to a fresh milk, which is kept at about the temperature of the 40 degrees centigrade, the multiply of the large extent and produce acids. This is known as the lactic acid, and here the formation of the lactobacillus bacteria, uh, with the help of lactobacillus bacteria, and we find the production of the curd. Next, in the other household products, just like the dough. So in this dough, there are the we can produce the dosa, idli, and the bread also. So the in the dosa idli, so these dosa idli, these are the two food products are the here are the two fermentation by the microbes in the dough. So we talking about the dosa and the idli and the bread and toti, the cheese and sauces. So these are prepared with the help of the microorganisms. So in the batter for the preparation of the batter, so these are the these idli dosa, and these two food have the rice flour and as an ingredient, and the dough is puffed up by the releasing of the carbon dioxide due to the fermentation by bacteria, and which enter from the atmosphere. So this is these are the help these can help in the formation of the dosa and idli. And the bread also, in the bread the ingredient for the bread is the wheat flour, and the dough is raised due to the carbon dioxide release because of the fermentation of the yeast. So it is the formation of the yeast, formation of the bread. Next one is the here we use the word the toddy. Toddy, it is a drink which is used in the southern side. So it is prepared by the fermentation of the sap of the palm plant. So this is the toddy, and cheese is also here. So cheese is the one of the oldest product of microbial action. There are the three main types of the cheeses, and so now the come to the next, that is the this is in the microbes in the industrial product. So in the industries, there are the ferment beverage, antibiotics, chemical enzymes, and the other bioactive molecules also. So firstly, I come to the in the ferment beverage and antibiotics. So first of all, we take the ferment beverages. So the microbes, and especially yeast, have been used from their time for the production of the beverage, like the wine, beer, whiskey, brandy, etc. For this purpose, the yeast, the name of the yeast is the Saccharomyces cerevisiae, which is used for the bread making and commonly for the beverage yeast. It is used for the fermented malted cereals and the fruit juices. So, and the production of the ethanol. And the next is in the form in the uses of the antibiotics. Anti is the Greek word, so the term means is the against, and the bio, as we know that the bio meaning is the life. So the together they means the against life. Okay, and whereas they are reference of the human beings, so they are the meaning is the pro life, not against. It means that is the pro life. So antibiotics are the chemical substance which use produced by some microbes, and can they can kill or the retard the growth of the other microbes. So these are the antibiotics. Now the next part is the chemicals or the enzymes and the other bioactive molecules also. So here microbes are also use the commercially and the industrial production of the certain chemicals like the organic acids, like the alcohols or the enzymes. And here we take the example of the acid producers are the Aspergillus niger, that is a fungus, and the of the citric acid, and the other is the Acetobacter aceti, and the Acetobacter aceti is for of the acetic acid, and other may be possible here. So now these are the chemicals or enzymes. And the other bioactive molecules means the cytoproin A, that is used as in the immunosuppressive against agent in the organic transplant patient, is produced by the fungus. So these are the bioactive metals or bioactive molecules also. Now the come to the next point, that is the microbes in the sewage treatment. Uh, as we know that the large quantity of the wastewater are generated everybody in the cities and the towns. So the major component of this wastewater is the human excreta, and this municipal wastewater is also called the sewage. And the sewage, it contains the large amount of the organic matter and the microbes, so many of which are the pathogenic. Good, microbes is also used in the sewage treatment. And now come to the next, the production of the biogas. Here the biogas means as we know that the biogas is the mixture of the gases, and they produced by the microbial activities, and which may be used as the fuel. So the types of the gases produced depend upon the microbes and the organic substrate they utilize. These are the microorganisms. The bacteria are the collectively called the methanogens, and one such common bacterium is the Methanobac. So these bacteria are commonly found in the aerobic sludge during the sewage treatment. So this is the very wide topic, and now come to the next, which are the some bacteria are very useful for the human life, and some are the harmful. The harmful organisms are the disease by the viruses. There are so many diseases which are given by the viruses. That these are the smallpox and the influenza, hepatitis B, AIDS. These are the harmful disease which are created by the virus, and by the pathogenic bacteria. There are they can destroy the body tissues of the host directly, and excrete toxins by the bacteria. There are the disease like the typhoid and the pneumonia, food poisoning, and these are other many diseases are also present. So in this topic, there is a general discussion about the microorganisms, the cells, and the benefits of the microorganism, the types of microorganisms, and they are the small introduction of their functions, and the uses of the industry, the commercial purpose in the household. So here now it is a, we can say that is the all topic is the very basic, by which we take the general information about the microorganisms. And now I stop my lecture. We can discuss. If you have any doubt, then contact with me. So thank you.